Bonjour tout le monde. Bonjour tout le monde. Me voilà encore. Bonjour tout le monde. Je m'appelle Ben et je suis votre professeur d'aujourd'hui. Je suis le professeur pour aujourd'hui. Hello everyone. I am your teacher for today. And what I want to talk about today is simply that languages are very easy to learn, but the only thing we have to do is we have to connect them to what we know, to the languages we already know, like our mother tongues. So last time we talked about the verb êTRE in our first episode. Okay, this is our second episode. So in the first episode, we talked about the verb êTRE, to be. To be, and we said that the verb êTRE is like the most important one, the most important verb. And why is that? It is because you'll find this verb everywhere, conjugated everywhere in almost all kind of conversation. You find the use of the verb êTRE, because I consider it the first verb, the verb to be. In Uganda they say okubeera, to be something, okay? To be something. So we talked about it in detail in our first episode. And then today we are going to look at the verb avoir and how they connect, these two, avoir. So to be, I personally consider it the first verb, the beginning. To be in Uganda, okubeera. Now, after being, then we can have, and that's where the verb avoir comes in. Avoir, to have something, okay? In the beginning, or you first be, and then you can have, okay? Être, to be, and avoir, to have. Okay, so these are two verbs which are very important. They are very, very important in French, and even in other languages, you find that they are used. Okay, so now we are going to use this statement to understand what I'm going to talk about today. And the statement is, je m'appelle Victor. Look at it. Je m'appelle Victor. Je suis Ougandais et j'ai 42 ans. Okay? We shall look at the numbers later. But now, what I want us to look at, these three things. Je m'appelle, je suis, et j'ai. Je means and, okay? Je m'appelle Victor, je suis Ougandais et j'ai 42 ans. So we focus on je m'appelle, je suis et j'ai. My name is Victor, I am Ugandan, and I have 42 years. All right, I have 42 years. So we start with this. Now, the idea of linking our cultures to the languages we are learning is very important, because this is where it comes in. Now look at je m'appelle. So translated directly, je m'appelle translated directly can be like I call myself. I call myself Victor. I call myself Victor. Okay? But in the actual sense, it means I am called, or my name is. But translated directly, it means I call myself. In Uganda, they say neita Victor. Neita Victor. I call myself Victor. Je suis. We talked about the conjugation of the verb êTRE in the beginning. To be. I am Ugandan. A Ugandan is called Ugande. That is for a male. We said that gender is very important in French. So a Ugandan is called Ugande if it is a man. And then if it is a woman, or it is a girl, it is Ugandes. We add an E. This is going to be very important in determining gender. Of nouns, gender of names and people. Okay? So, Ugande or Ugandes when it's a female. Et and j'ai 42 ans. I am 42 years old. So, j'ai is translated directly, it means I have. Okay? J'ai, I have, comes from this verb, avoir. I hope it makes sense. So, I prefer learning languages, and I would suggest that when you're learning languages, try as much as possible to understand them in your mother tongue context. It will be easier to understand the variations, the differences, because that's where the beauty is. So now, that's about it. Now, let us look at... No, before we go there, let's still go back to je m'appelle. Je m'appelle. Je m'appelle directly translates to I call myself. Now, in Uganda, they say êTRE. But then, the way we say it in Uganda, the way we introduce ourselves in Uganda, they say Bampita Victor or Bampita Ben. Now, in English, you find that there is a connection between the way we introduce ourselves in Uganda and in English. Bampita, I am called. In English, it's the same, I am called. But then in French, when you look at je m'appelle, you find that they say, it directly translates to I call myself. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, it is the same sense. All you want to say, above all, is my name is. As simple as that. My name is, and then you continue. And then afterwards, j'ai 42 ans. I have 42 years. But in actual sense, in English, they say, I am 42 years old. And then you look at it, j'ai, which means I have 42 years old, and you see that there it can connect to the mother tongue, Luganda. I have, in Uganda they say, Nina emyaka anamu ebiri. I have 42 years, or I am 42 years old. So connecting these languages that we learn to our mother tongue makes the whole journey of learning languages very, very interesting, and it makes it worthwhile. So now that is done, let us look at, let us go to what brought us here, and that is, we look at what brought us here, and that is understanding the verb avoir, and then we see how these verbs can connect avoir and êTRE. Okay, now let us take, for instance, the verb avoir. Now we are looking at conjugation. Avoir means to have. To have. So we say that when we are conjugating verbs, we have to always pay attention, and we have to always keep in mind the use of the personal pronouns. That is, je, tu, il, or elle, and then nous, vous, and then finally il and elle. So we say that je means I. Inze, inze. It means I. Inze. And then tu means you. Gwe, gwe. And then il means he. And then elle means she. And then nous means we. Fait. And then vous means you, but plural, moi, you. And then elle, il and elle is a plural of the first person, so it is they. So now it depends whether the person we're referring to is male or female, or the group is male or female. So it can be il. When we use il, we're talking about a group of people who are male, or who are dominated by male people. And then when we use elle, we are talking about a group of people who are female, or a group of people who are dominated by female. Okay? So we start. So we are conjugating. We say j'ai, which is I have. Tu as, which means you have. And then elle or il a, which is he or she has. And then afterwards we have nous avons. In French we connect these when a word ends with a consonant and then the next one starts with a vowel, we connect them. Instead of saying nous avons, we say nous avons, which means we have. Okay? And then vous avez, we link these two words. In French we call it la liaison, the link. Vous avez, which means you have. Okay, and then finally we have il ou elle, and then we say il ou elle, elles ont, the link. Instead of saying ils ont or elles ont, we say ils ont or elles ont. It's very important. It's very important. So now from there, we can understand that learning these languages is very nice because it keeps you more aware about the idea of conjugation when it comes to verbs. For example, how to conjugate. You have to understand the personal pronouns first, and then you connect them together, and then afterwards you can be able to conjugate these verbs, and it will be easier to understand. Like I have, you have, he or she has, we have, you have, they have. J'ai, I have, tu as, you have, elle ou il a, he or she has, and then nous avons, we have, vous avez, you have, and il ou elles ont, they have. So now from here, from these verbs, from this conjugation here, we can construct a lot of sentences already. Par exemple, for example, je m'appelle Ben ou je m'appelle Victor. Je suis, we talked about être in the first episode. Je suis étudiant. I am a student. Et j'ai 42 ans. I am 42 years old. My name is Victor. I am a student and I am 42 years old. I don't know how much we know about how many 42-year-old students we have, but they say life is very, very long and learning is a lifelong process. So learning never ends. So not getting surprised when you find somebody with 42 years and they are still students, because learning is an unending process. So now that's about it now, and thank you for watching. I hope you picked something from this video, and I hope you can come up with as many sentences as possible, and then you can leave them under the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to follow our next episodes at École Victor Hugo. Merci beaucoup et bonne journée.